Hello, my friends. Welcome to the ThePCelitist, a channel dedicated to video game commentary and discussion, always from the PC perspective, the greatest platform for gaming. My name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd.
And, man, scheduling sucks.
It's been a while since we've recorded. Through no fault of your own, my own,
Your own.
his own.
It's your fault.
It is.
Okay.
Sorry.
But as we've mentioned before, we have a big dry erase board full of ideas, but some of our subscribers got to some of them first and started discussing them before we gave them permission. But we had a little discussion between two subscribers regarding immersion, and it's a great subject to talk about. But I think there was a little disagreement on the definition of immersion, and I think it's a pretty complex subject, so it's hard to define exactly. But
Peel the onion, Woodsie. Peel it for us.
the first thing about immersion that everyone needs to understand when talking about it, it's kind of hard to pinpoint because it is an emotion of the player. Okay? It's not, you can't, as much as we'd like to think you can, we can't factually say a game is immersive.
Really?
I don't think so. I think games can do a lot to be immersive. But in the end, the immersion feeling is a feeling. Okay? And I came up with something of a little of an analogy here. Okay?
You and your fucking analogies.
And it's a little complex, but this is the analogy I came up with. Let's take two guys with girlfriends. Okay?
Do we know anyone like that?
Maybe not.
Yeah.
It's very hypothetical.
You're listening to them.
But guy A has his girlfriend and guy B has his girlfriend, right? Let's say they both claim to be in love with their girlfriends, but one follows much better relationship rules than the other guy. Okay?
Wow, this is hitting really close to home. Just saying. You call me whipped, bro? Been together 8 years. There's a reason for that.
Shut up.
Sorry.
Stop it.
Okay.
This isn't about you.
Okay.
This is about guy A and guy B.
Okay.
All right?
So what about the whipped guy?
He
follows the rules. It's called love. If you had
Right,
it,
exactly.
you wouldn't be dead inside.
Exactly.
Go on with your analogy.
It's exactly my point. Is the two guys, you can have a discussion of what is better rules to make a more fulfilling and deeper relationship, right? But the one guy can't say, I'm more in love with my girlfriend than you are.
Well, you can, because yours is more supportive of this channel than mine is.
Stop! It's not about us!
Oh. Sorry, it's too parallel.
I'm sorry this was the only analogy I could come up with right now, okay? Can you contain yourself?
Okay, so there are no rules for a good relationship.
No, there are.
Oh.
That's the whole point.
But they aren't true for everyone.
No, is that guy A could be following the rules, and guy B could not be following the rules, and guy A could tell him how this is all conducive to a very deep, fulfilling relationship, but you can't say, and I'm more in love with her, my girlfriend, than you are with yours. Okay? Because love is the emotion. Okay? Like, you could take two games, one that has a lot of player control over what happens, and one that's very linear. You could have a sandbox versus a linear game. Linear games can be very immersive. Extremely immersive.
Such as?
Let's go with first Modern Warfare. I know we slam that game a lot.
We slam the multiplayer.
The
mostly.
multiplayer. But when you're coming in on the helicopter and you have your sound up, and the graphics at the time were amazing, were really good, and you're landing on the on the cargo ship in the storm, and all the animations are beautiful.
In the middle of God's wrath.
Yeah.
At night.
It's a great scene, and I was totally immersed. Okay? Now, I played through the game once, and it was a roller coaster ride, and I was immersed the whole time, and it was great. The Chernobyl level, where you're the sniper?
Yeah.
Come on.
That was great.
It's very immersive, right?
When you're laying down, and the tanks and infantry and doggies are running by you, walking by you slowly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're tense because you're immersed in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now that doesn't mean that um, this channel is about more complex gaming and that we like more open-ended gaming, but that doesn't mean something linear done beautifully can't be immersive.
Hmm.
If it's done really well, it can be immersive. Immersion is all about the player feeling the walls of the game they're playing. If it's a roller coaster ride and you're all for it and you're like, I'm ready to get on this ride, let's do it, you're gonna get immersed.
Like in Left 4 Dead 2, when you have to actually run on the roller coaster to get away from zombies. Because that was immersive as shit. Clown zombie. I was immersed.
No, I mean, it depends on the player. And we, I think, as a group, would all agree we want to be more open-ended because when a game is too linear, we feel the walls of the game a lot.
Portal 2.
Yes, exactly. And that we feel the restrictions placed upon us. But if a game is linear and it's very well done, it could be just as immersive. Okay? It might not have the depth of gameplay. And I only played Modern Warfare once. Okay? But then I reflect on that to a game like The Witcher, which I just finished last week. The first one. Everyone don't yell at me just because you never finished. I don't want to hear it.
That game came out in 01.
Right? No, it came out later than that.
Oh.
But I played through it, and it was so immersive, and so much was based on player decision. The second I finished it, I wanted to play again.
And play it differently?
Yes, and play it completely differently. Or play it better than I did. Like, there was just all this stuff I wanted to do again. But I have Witcher 2 sitting waiting for me, so I started that.
You wanted to open briefcase number 2 instead of number 3.
Yeah. Right. But I never played through Modern Warfare again. That's because it is a roller coaster ride, and once you've experienced the roller coaster, that's it. Well, that doesn't mean that it's not immersive. I just want to make sure that point is clear. Immersion is telling somebody that game's not as immersive as this game. Well, frankly, if that player was immersed at the time, he's immersed. You can't really argue that. But what you can argue is this game follows better rules to immersion than that game does. And we're all for that on this channel. We all want more things that bring immersion. We don't want arcade style. We want more sim style because we like more complex gameplay because we get more immersed in that kind of gameplay. Okay, we don't. And the biggest, I think, for me, the way I summarize when a game can get me immersed is when it doesn't assume I'm stupid.
That's a pretty low threshold.
But most games do it. So many games assume I'm an idiot and have to press this to open the door every time there's a door, or have to highlight every goram thing on the screen.
I'm 20 hours into a game. Press Q to take down your opponent.
Right. Right. I can memorize some controls.
I got it.
Exactly. There's so many things that games just assume they have to keep telling you, and every time I read a UI interface or get the same information repeated to me over and over and over again, I'm constantly reminded I'm playing a video game, and that's not what I want. I want to forget about the video game. I want to just play the world,
Kind of like every time you see a Lithuanian sub-commander with a Scottish accent, you think, oh, that's Sean Connery, and this is not the Cold War. I feel the same way about, and this is a minor thing, but it stands out to me, in first-person shooters, an indicator in the UI that tells you what stance you're in. It shows you in a picture, you're prone, you're crouched, you're standing. I should be able to tell. Unless I could play a midget, I should know that I'm kneeling.
Right.
And not standing at 4'3". I know when I'm prone. Thank you.
You know what? I think a rule that immerses you and me, but a rule you've brought up, but you might not just be thinking about it at this moment, realistic clip system.
Indeed.
I'm not stupid enough to know. I know that if I fire one round and drop a clip,
I lost 29 bullets just then.
Yeah. I could figure that out, and I like the idea of it. I like to bring it more to reality. So that's an immersive thing that games could do. But again, it has to assume the player is dumb and wants to reload every second.
Which I am bad at doing, by the way. Here's a question on that and I won't spend too much time on this. How would you feel about a game there are limits to realism in shooters in particular. How would you feel about a game that did not tell you how many bullets you had left in the clip? You just had to have a sense of, I just wasted 2 guys back there. I'm going into a new area. I should probably reload. Am I losing 3 bullets? Am I losing 15?
I could get behind something like that.
That'd be pretty fucking cool.
It would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
I think a lot of people would say, I would love that. I mean, I don't think there's... I think most people on this channel, again, we want games to be more assuming of the better. Mm-hmm. That we're at this tier of game players. We've been playing games for 20 years, and we know the rules.
Yeah.
You know? So you could invent new rules to throw us. Because we're done just practicing the same rules over and over again. Give us some new rule sets that kind of throw us off.
That's true. And I have some more thoughts on that, but I think we'll save those for another video on realism, especially in first-person shooters, because I have some ideas. But to get back to Immersion, there's a game where I thought I knew Immersion until I played this game. And it was a game that came out of the blue for me, not just because I would never play this game on my own, just because I expected it to not only not be immersive, I expected it to also be very boring.
Right.
And that game, and your brother introduced it to me, is Hunter. The Hunter or Hunter?
I think it's just called Hunter.
Hunter. And it's Deer Hunter for enthusiasts, really. It's a deer hunting sim.
Yes,
and you know how much we love sims.
Right.
Sims that are done, not the game sims. Simulators.
Right.
How well they're done. This game actually required you to go out into the wide-ass open world, big-ass forests, and hunt.
Wait, you mean there wasn't a turned-over truck blocking one direction?
No, and there wasn't an invisible wall behind that tree, mysteriously.
Wait, when you walked too far, did a soldier tell you, we're going to shoot you if you go even further?
No, a squirrel told me. It was a racist squirrel, too. They don't serve my kind there, apparently. This game...
Were you a droid? Okay, never mind. Keep going.
Are these the ones you're looking for?
No.
This game, you could play it really any way you want. It was open-ended. There wasn't any right way to hunt a deer, though there were certain rules, as there are in real hunting, that you had to follow. I have never hunted humans. Zombies.
Right.
I've never hunted, so I didn't have this sense of, here's what I need to do. But I know about stealth, and I know about downwind, and I know about making noise.
Right.
That's all I needed to know to do well at this game. When I say do well, I mean spend 45 minutes tracking one deer.
Right.
But let me tell you, the satisfaction when you get that deer, fantastic. Because I didn't feel like I just had to wait for a randomly spawning deer to come my way. I felt immediately that this was a game where I had to seek out the deer. And that's the first thing that hit me in terms of realism. It didn't feel like, oh, the deer will come to you, just be patient. It was you were here when I played. I'd be in there for 30 minutes, wouldn't see a damn thing, and I'd be like, okay, this is kind of frustrating. But then as I was about to quit the game, I'd see something in the distance, and immediately I was pulled right back into the game.
Right.
And I knew I had to go chase that guy down. I didn't have a Jeep. I didn't have anything. I had to walk, not run. I had to walk to chase that guy down. And I don't want this to turn into a review of Hunter, but I was so taken by that game, and I didn't expect to be. And I think that's why it was even more immersive than I thought, because it caught me off guard. But I leaned over. I put my ear to my speaker as if I was trying to listen better. And I used headphones, and I had the volume up way loud. The ambient noise in this game was fantastic. But I've never been so immersed, and that, to me, made me feel like, okay, games still can be immersive, and it's not just the Modern Warfares. I agree with all the things you said about that. A game can be immersive, and it doesn't even have to be riveting all the time.
Right.
It has to follow the rules. And even if it follows the rules, it doesn't mean it can't break any of them. It just has to do it well.
Yes. Just a quick story about you playing the Hunter. This is how I remember you playing the Hunter. I never got into the game, but you'd be playing, tracking a deer, and we'd be talking, and I'd be laying on your floor. I would fall asleep, and I would wake up to you yelling, "In the neck!"
Let's move right past why he was falling asleep on my floor and not on a couch.
That was right next to the floor.
We'll go right past that. I remember that. In the neck.
But anyway, so I would like to know, as a question, what rules either break immersion for you that's done commonly, or that really
they make immersion for you.
They really make immersion for you, yeah. And please comment what those are. For the PC Elitist, my name is Woodsie.
My name is Shepherd, and we're signing out.